Hi, welcome to the latest video about the Irish Ancestors site and Irish ancestors in general. Today I'm going to be talking about a new research tool that I've put together for the 1901 census. So there's a blog post about it, so I'm going to start off at the blog post. Let's go to the site now. Okay, here we are at the site. Go to the blog, and it's a new tool for searching institutions in the 1911 census. The first question is, why would you want such a damn thing? Okay, it sounds pretty esoteric. Let me show you why it's a good idea to have it. This is the search interface for the National Archives of Ireland census website. It's wonderful in the sense that it provides search options on all the fields that appear, all the pieces of information that appear in the Form A, that household form. Now, the Form A household form is a very, very large majority of the forms returned. So over 95%, probably even more than that. But as we know, our ancestors tend to be in the 5% that aren't covered. So what about the other non-standard, non-Form A returns? So returns for hospitals, for barracks, for workhouses, for colleges and boarding schools. There were specific different forms for all of those, and they didn't follow the format that you see in front of you, so you can't search them the same way. Because the transcription concentrated on the Form A's and sort of shoehorned everything into that format, it means it's very hard to find the institutions. And the institutions contain lots and lots and lots of people who have descendants who want to find them. So that's what the tool is about. It's about supplementing the search function on the census, the National Archives of Ireland census site. Okay, how did it come about? It's one of the things that the National Archives have done is disabled search engines. So you can't just do a search and find everything that mentions Form F or everything that mentions Form K. So it has to be part of a full transcription. So how it came about is via this company here, the Sensible Code Company. This is a company based in Belfast that is pretty specialist statistician software designed for handling censuses, for handling confidential material online in a way that complies with protection regulations, privacy regulations, and so on and so forth. And one of the things they did was to do, with the consent of the National Archives, do a scrape of the National Archives Census 1911 site just to demonstrate what they could do with the data. So if you're interested, there's a detailed blog post here. Okay, you'll find the link in my own blog. One of the things that's very interesting about this is that it explains how they did it, but it also provides a wonderful little tool down towards the bottom here, where you can play around with the various so you can select a variable or select birthplace. So everybody who was born in County Clare, you want it by district electoral division, and you get a chloropleth. This is a heat sink map showing the district electoral divisions where everybody has picked, is given Cork as a place of birth. And you can see for some reason over there near Newport, there was a little nest of Cork people over there. But this is like an awful lot of statistical information. Once you start playing around it with like this, all sorts of peculiar insights come up out of it. But one of the things that they did was identify the areas that the forms, the non-standard institutional forms. And because they made it public like this, and they have I would encourage you, if you have any sort of a statistical bent, I use the word advisedly, you can go in here and create a custom table. You can pick whatever you want, the various subdivisions. So you want it by county, you pick a county. You pick the variables. You want only one county, so let's see, Clare. Okay, Clare. You want Clare. You want save and continue. Then you can pick all the information from the form, the religion. So you can slice and dice the information in all sorts of wonderful ways. But back to what I did with that, I sliced and diced the information and picked out all the institutional forms and then mapped them. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the result. This is available via the browse section. You'll see it's here in the maps institutions in 1911. And these are the various institutions: barracks, colleges and boarding schools, hospitals, prisons, asylums. They're not quite as politely described as that, but I thought I should be a little bit kinder. Return of the sick at their own homes, which is an interesting one and very little used, and workhouses. But these are all different forms filled out other than Form A, or other than the standard household form. But wait, I hear you cry. Where are the shipping returns, the Form Es? Which was my first reaction as well. But the shipping returns actually concern the shipping. The ship's crews are returned on Form As, so they can't be picked out as easily as this. But anyway, come back to this. One of the things, like a lot of these maps, once you put information on screen like this and begin to look at it, things start to make sense in ways that are difficult otherwise. And in this case, the barracks, this is a barracks return. There's no distinction made in the census between police barracks and military barracks, British Army barracks. If you look at the map, you can see there is a clear distinction. There are very, very large barracks in various parts of the country. So let's pick, for example, Tipperary. Tipperary Urban, 693. So this is, you click on that and you get taken to it. And you can see that this is Tipperary Barracks, where if you go down, right down to the bottom, you get the barrack return. Okay, and there you have, okay, you need to rotate that to go through it. It gives only the initials, but it also gives other information that you mightn't be expecting and that isn't transcribed. Another, where the people were born, their marital status, and here their occupations before they joined the army. So that's the, again, if you have our army ancestors, and lots of people do, if you are English and researching ancestors in the British Army, here's a possible point of interest for you as well, because as you can see, lots and lots of them Church of England. These are the various regiments are sometimes identified on the military returns and so on. So it's you can zoom in like that. The rules of the census stated that you were only supposed to give the initials, but like lots of rules in Ireland, sometimes they were followed and sometimes they weren't. And here you have Victoria Barracks. Well, that's not the best example. Yes, 1001. Victoria Barracks, and here are full names of all the soldiers, transcribed completely against the rules, but it means they're searchable and findable. Other big institutions are, the biggest would be workhouses and prisons. Again, like the barracks, the rule was that only the initials were to be recorded, but because of the birthplace, age, marital status that you can find in the originals, it is possible to identify people with a high degree of probability from the returns if you're looking at them there. The most interesting is not maybe an unfortunate way of putting it. As you can see, returns of idiots and lunatics. The returns are very informative indeed. They're not transcribed, okay? So they show all information, okay? Not completely transcribed because, for example, The originals, let me go down to the end, show, okay, if you zoom in, okay, they give the kind of insanity under which each patient labors. So mania, epilepsy, and so on and so forth. And they also give the state, the ascertained or presumed cause. So heredity, slept out. Be very careful about sleeping out. That there are some very strange ones to our eyes there now. There's some very poignant ones. Disappointment in love was one I came across once. Another one was disappointment over a will. Somebody who'd been in an asylum for 40 years. Again, it gives occupations before they entered. It gives where exactly they're from in the county, so it's more than just a county. So again, if you suspect you have an ancestor who's in an asylum like this, it is much easier to identify them than it might appear from the fact that it's simply the initials. The other ones they speak for themselves. The hospitals, prisons, workhouses, again, a substitute for workhouse registers. And again, with some of the information that they have in there, it is possible to identify individuals. So here we have, that's the idiots and lunatics, I beg your pardon. Let's see, is this the, okay, yes, this is the workhouse, Sligo workhouse. And as you can see, the full names are given, even though it's supposed to be only initials. So again, when you can see them all like this, and you can zoom in and out of them, you can look at them, at the click of a mouse, the way I'm doing there, they become much more usable as research records. They're a small proportion of the census. It's only the 1911. Bring on the 1901, please, sensible code. Bring on the 1901. But it is here. It's a tool. It's useful. Finally, I just like to show you the return of the sick at their own homes. This was a very particular form. As you can see, there aren't very many. There are 4 of them on the entire island. Let's pick this one just here in Tipperary, in Rahelty, and poor old Margaret Power is being looked after on her own. This was a Form C, return of the sick at their own homes. There's nothing much in it. It's a curiosity more than anything else, but curiosity is what drives us, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you find the tool useful. I hope you found this talk useful. And I wish you good luck and happy hunting. Thanks for watching.